Welcome to the 6th video of the Selenium IDE automation series. In this video, we'll discuss assertion and verify with some other important commands in Selenium IDE. Alright, we are discussing assertion and verify. Assertion is for critical validation, while verify is for non-critical validation. This and some other commands in Selenium IDE will be done practically in this video. So let's head over to our checkout tests, and okay, we have verify test here. You would have observed all this while I've been using verify. I've not tried assertion because I know if assertion test should fail, the test run will stop. But if verify test should fail, the test run will still proceed. So assertion is used for critical validation, like I've said before. So we'll put a pause to the run here, and we change the valid value for this verify. Okay, let's not put it in 14. Let's go down a bit to say 19, and we want to change this to be a wrong value. Alright, we'll proceed to run. We have item in our cart, so the extension could not see this add to cart, so we'll have to rerun that again. Clear our log, then run. Okay, so you can see item 12 failed, but item 13, 14, 15, 16 and the likes continued down to where we have our breakpoint 19, where we pause the flow of the run. So had it been what we have in step 12 is assert, the run will stop at that particular point where we have assert. So it won't get to item to step 18, it will stop at step 12. Okay, let's confirm that. As you can see, the process did not move to this store JSON command. It stopped at item 12, assert text. The reason being, actual value, check out your information, did not match what was given, check out your informations. So that's the major difference between assert and verify. So aside this, I want to run us through echo. Echo basically print to the log, like we have here in step 7, echo variable k. In step 6, we store text here to variable k, and we echo it so that we can revalidate variable k later, like we did in item 10. You see, verify text variable k, and it's passed. So echo help you log the data in your variable to the log. Another command can be select, but select is best used for application where we have checkbox or radio button, and the current app we are running with does not have that. So we can proceed to learn how to use store JSON for each, and debugger. So debugger just basically work like our breakpoint. It will halt the run of the current test case at the step where we put debugger. So instead of pausing here, we can insert a new command and add debugger, and that's all. So let's remove our cat and let's impute our correct value here and run. You see the flow will stop at step 19. Great. To walk us through execute scripts, store JSON, I'll need to explain what JSON, objects, and arrays are. JSON means JavaScript object notation, and with that, to store data we can use array or object. So arrays store data in units. We have A, B, C, we can have 1, 2, 3, we can have Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, like that. While objects stores data in key value pair, and each pair are separated by comma. Both key and value are wrapped in double quotes separated by a colon. So the first item is the key, the second is the value. And to get the value, you make reference to your key to get the value. So here, the key is name. So if I want to get the value, QA lab, I will make reference to this name to get QA lab. Same applies for this key channel and YouTube. So now Selenium IDE for store JSON, there's a part we have this array of objects. So as you can see, this is the array having two objects inside. So the first object is having 3 key value pair: first name Paul, last name Peter, postal code 1023. And the second object, first name John, last name James, postal code 1023. To mention again, to access your value, you make reference to the key associated to the value. Meaning if I want to get Peter, I'll make reference to last name. If I want to get Paul, I'll make reference to the first name here. Alright, I believe this should give us the basic understanding of how object and array works in JSON format. We'll head over now to Selenium IDE to proceed with the explanation of store JSON. I will run us through store JSON, execute scripts for each. I think I've explained echo earlier. Echo is just like console.log. Whatever you echo will show in your log. So let's check 7. Let's check what K is. K is source lab backpack. So that's that about echo. For store JSON, okay, I've commented it out. I would remove the comment. So store JSON basically can be used to save data. So instead of you going around, let's say where we have to type in QA lab and this postal code, you can save it in JSON in this array of objects. Yes. So the first name Paul, last name Ayo, postal code 1023. So Selenium IDE will just come here and pick your values with this variable checklist. So if I proceed to run this, let's put a pause here and let's see what echo would return. Clear, run. Okay, we can't see that because echo is commented. So I'll remove the comment. So you can see echo is an array of type objects. So that being said, we can proceed to explain execute script. So here, what is happening in this execute script is we are using JavaScript JSON to pass in the first name here, the last name, and the postal code. Alright, so to see how that works, I can insert command here to echo. Let me stop this. I can insert command for each of the type to echo what checklist.firstName is returning. Checklist being the name of the object stored in the array. I have commented for each here. So let me delete this, it's not needed. So going through the explanation again, when you execute scripts, you can have your data in an array or your object, like in this case, in an array like I've showed earlier, and you give it a name in your value. I name it new check. So we'll echo what new check is in step 16. So for each of the item in new check, we name it checklist. So we are typing, our target here is ID first name. So I can just proceed to inspect this and show us how I got this first name as ID. So you select this and select here. So if you come here, you can see ID first name. So if you inspect for last name, you can see the ID for last name too is last name, as you can see here. And for postal code, it is also postal code. Let's do that too. ID is postal code. Good. So to see how we are able to type in what we have here in these fields, let's echo what we have. So echo, what's our target? Our target is checklist dot first name. Remember I said if you want to get the value in an object, you make reference to it with the key name, and the key name here is first name, so we'll get Paul. Okay, So we can test this up to step 19 and see what this echo would return. So I'll go ahead and close this inspect, clear my cat, clear my log, remove this. So we have only this breakpoint. Then I run. Good. As you can see, Paul has been written here, and it has echo Paul here too. So that's why typing the name in item 18 works without us actually imputing Paul as value. So this is very useful when you are filling in a long form. Just pick each ID of the form where you have your name, school, state, local government, and the like. Pick the ID, execute them as scripts, then pass them in the type. So in case you want to change, you don't need to change one by one. So you have a center where I can just change my first name now to say Nigeria. My last name to Africa, and postal code to 44332211. So I've done that at a spot instead of scrolling through each of my type. So I remove this breakpoint here, and we'll put the breakpoint here in this pause. Okay, in this end. So we'll see what we would have in here. I would clear my cat again and run. Is item 20. ID last name. This is taking time. So I'll stop. Implicit wait time at after 30,000 milliseconds. Okay. What might be the issue? Let me delete this echo. So we have checklist.last name. And we have last name here. So this should work. We'll run again. Alright, good. So you can see we have Nigeria, Africa, and the number inserted. So with this, I believe I've covered some very important commands, and with practice, we can get to know more. So another trick to understand command is to use the reference. So this end that we have, if I check reference, terminate a control flow block for if, while, and times. So because I used for it somewhere here, that's why I need to use this end. So let me just search a random command. Let's just scroll through, drag and drop to objects. So from the reference, we can see this is receiving two arguments. locator of object to be dragged, locator of dragged destination object. Okay, another random one. Remove selection, that would be to unselect a radio button checkbox. Send keys, deal with simulate you typing. So simulate keystroke event on the event element as though you typed blah blah. So for any command at all, you can just come to reference, check it out, and with this you get what the command is used for and the required argument to use the command. With this, I've covered assertion and verify with some other important commands in Selenium IDE. Thank you for your time. In the next video, I will dive into target locator, where I would explain how to uniquely select targets using CSS and expert. Till then, thank you once again.